It began, like most tragedies do, with a single message. An unmarked envelope arrived one morning at the home of a former employee of the Playtime Company, once the most beloved toy manufacturer in the country. For decades, their toys had filled homes across America. Playtime Company had been a household name, a symbol of joy. But 10 years ago, all of that stopped. The factory doors closed without warning. Every worker inside, managers, engineers, janitors, scientists, vanished. Not one person walked out. And now, after all those years, a letter arrived. There was no return address. But the handwriting, it looked familiar. A decade of unanswered questions led him back to the place he swore he'd never see again. The gates of Playtime Co loomed tall and corroded, their bright paint long since eaten away by rust. He stepped inside. The lobby stretched out before him like a tomb frozen in time. Colorful banners hung torn and faded. The welcome desk still bore a nameplate. Beneath it, a single VHS tape, labeled only Playtime Company. Intro tape. He inserted it into an old monitor. A static-filled broadcast began.
Hi, my name is Leith Pierre, and I'm the head of innovation here at the Playtime Co toy factory. If you're seeing this, then you're trespassing. Yeah, we play this little tape on loop whenever we close the factory for the day. So, trespasser, just to make you aware, while we pride ourselves primarily on our high-quality toys and excellent childcare, we also pride ourselves on our security. For example, this facility is full of hidden motion triggers, which, once set off, will turn on the factory's emergency alarms and directly contact the authorities. And that's one of the more tame aspects of our security system. No spoilers. So, you've got my warning. It's not too late to turn around. I just hope that you're certain whatever you're doing is worth it.
At a nearby security desk lay a strange device. Twin metallic hands connected by cables and a power unit. The grab pack, a tool once used by employees to handle machinery safely. It still worked. With its electric charge, he could activate switches and move heavy equipment from a distance. Powering up the main doors required rerouting electricity through several control nodes scattered around the main hall. That's when he noticed it, standing across the atrium. A figure, nearly 10 feet tall, covered in bright blue fur, with an enormous smile stretched ear to ear. Its name tag read, Huggy Wuggy. It didn't move. It didn't blink. It was the company's mascot, and it was watching.
It's Huggy, Huggy Wuggy. When he hugs you, he'll never stop. Your friend Huggy, Huggy Wuggy, he'll squeeze you until you pop.
The doors beyond Huggy were locked, but one held an electronic panel marked Power. He reached for it, but the power grid overloaded and shorted out. He noticed a key caught onto Huggy's hand, clutched tightly in the statue's oversized palm. He hesitated. Then carefully he reached up and pried the key free. The instant it left Huggy's grip, the lights above flickered. The power room door opened with a groan, revealing a tangle of wires and metal walkways. Using the grab pack, he connected the energy conduits, bridging circuits and rerouting current through the grid. Electric arcs snapped and hissed between the nodes as power returned to the main line. He turned to leave, but the atmosphere had changed. When he stepped back into the lobby, the pedestal was empty. The towering mascot that had stood at the center of the room, gone. No trail, no sound, no hint of where it had gone. Only that endless, painted smile lingering in his mind. The factory was no longer abandoned. Something inside it was awake. He followed the narrow maintenance corridor with a sign, "Make a friend." Pipes hissed. Steam leaked from broken valves. The deeper he went, the more the factory seemed to breathe again. At the corridor's end, a heavy door opened into the production wing, once the beating heart of Playtime Company. Rows of conveyor belts stretched into the dark, half-assembled toys lying in silent decay. Murals of cheerful mascots peeled from the walls, smiling through cracks and rust. Among the rubble, a dull yellow glow caught his eye. A VHS tape. He wiped the dust away and fed it into the monitor beside the control station. Static cleared to the sound of distant voices.
Rich, where are they keeping the Huggy boxes?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you. From
Remember when maintenance left it a sweep in this place?
No.
Exactly. Nobody in this stupid company knows what they're doing. Oh, I swear, I haven't seen a single box in its place since they started flooding the storehouse with orphanage junk.
Right.
I get it. It's a nice program and all, on brand, but it's just hard to be happy about it when manufacturing's on our necks about it, because we can't fight stupid hockey boxes.
Rich.
You're right. You're right. It's for the orphans. I just wish there were less boxes. Anything less would be more habitable. Is that even a word? Habitable?
Hurried, confused, uneasy, the tape ended in silence. He turned back to the machinery. A massive assembly platform dominated the center of the room. He noticed another door marked danger, but yet he would need 2 hands to be able to open it. He notices parts of another grab pack, straps, wires, and a single disconnected hand painted bright red. When the process finished, the machine released the completed red hand onto the conveyor belt below. He reached out, attached it to his pack. With both arms active, he could manipulate the massive machinery, bridge circuits, and access areas long sealed away. He emerged from the machinery room into a massive hall marked by a yellow warning sign. Danger. Do not enter. Conveyor belts stretched into darkness, pipes snaked across the ceiling, and stray toy parts rolled lifelessly toward the drops below. The air was thick with old lubricant and the faint whisper of gears still turning. He drops himself into the make-a-friend room. He ascended the stairs and found a dusty VCR setup perched on a corner beam. He inserted a pink-case tape and watched an interview loop with a woman named Stella Greyber.
So, Stella, what made you want to work at the Playtime Co factory?
Playing with toys when I was young was so magical. I could go straight from my bedroom floor to anywhere in the world. It was such a great feeling. And being able to work at a toy factory, somewhere that can provide kids with that same experience, that's a pretty great feeling too. Sometimes though, I really wish I could go back. To being a kid, I mean. And it's weird, because adults are just kids, but older. I don't think anyone ever really feels like an adult, but your body just gets older and older, and then you die. Poof! Human bodies just can't stay young forever. There's things though, like some trees that can stay alive even while being way older than the person. I mean, the oldest people to ever live are still younger than those. So I guess everyone is always young relative to something, right?
All right, I think we're getting a little off track.
Her calm voice describing her childhood joy of toys and her belief in Playtime Co.'s vision of lasting friendship. He placed the tape aside and used his newly equipped grab pack red hand to pull a segment of the catwalk bridge into place, crossing to an energy socket near the ceiling. With the blue and red hands working together, he completed the circuit. At once, the machinery roared to life below. Belts spun, robotic arms swung, and colored toy parts streamed onto the production line. Through safety glass, he watched the Make-A-Friend machine assemble a plush figure, parts fitting together like gears in a clock, until the finished toy rolled off the belt onto a scale labeled, "Nobody leaves without a toy." He placed the toy on the scale. The big doors groaned open. He walked forward, heart pounding, into the dim hallway beyond. The machine's humming died down behind him. When he glanced at the corridor, the statue of Huggy Wuggy that had once stood in the lobby was towering over him. Red flashing lights filled the room. Alarms screamed, and Huggy emerged from the darkness. Every turn, every stairwell, the creature was right behind him. Stretching through vents, crawling through openings too small for anything human. He sprinted through assembly rooms and conveyor belts, ducking through tunnels as sparks rained from broken cables above. At the final turn, a narrow walkway crossed a massive chasm of broken machinery. He swung his grab pack cable and struck the support beam with a heavy box. The bridge collapsed. Huggy plummeted into the darkness below beneath the factory. Where did this void lead to? Every step carried him deeper into the oldest part of Playtime Co, where the lights grew weaker and the air smelled of rot and dust. Then he saw it. Another VHS player. He slid it in. A calm male voice filled the air. Faint screams and metallic scraping echoed in the background.
Experiment 1006, the prototype. Coordination and cooperation is evidently within his skill set, as well as the skill set of all other experiments of his type. Though still missing, today's events are no doubt in relation to him. His absence was a flaw in the scientific process, which should have under no circumstances been left unaccounted for. That's why I'm making this log, so that the same mistake won't be made twice. Any future experiments will need to be contained and disposed of in a secure location. I'm not worried about myself. One breakthrough and I'll be back. We must forge onwards in the name of science, whether those who are beneath us understand it or not. End of...
He pressed onward, a massive painted image on the wall, a red poppy flower. Broken toys and tangled wiring hung from the ceiling like vines. Surrounding it, scrawled in shaky handwriting, were the words, "No more danger. Turn back. Stop." He stepped through the flowered doorway. The light shifted. The industrial gray of the factory gave way to something uncanny. A hallway lined with floral wallpaper and warm, soft light. It looked safe. Peaceful even. But the deeper he walked, the more the air thickened. Too quiet, too clean, too still. At the end of the corridor, a door stood ajar. Inside was a small playroom, a dollhouse, a child's bed, tiny shelves stacked with storybooks and toys untouched by time. Everything looked preserved, as if someone had been expecting him. He moved to the far side of the room, where a tall glass case stood beneath a single flickering bulb. Inside, a porcelain-skinned doll sat upright. He hesitated, then reached out, unlatching the seal. As the case hissed open, her head turned toward him, and with a soft, human voice, she whispered,
You opened my case.